क्योंकि महिला हूँ
मैं अकेली आकर खड़ी हुई, आप सबने देखा है।
और महिला होने के नाते मैं सोचती हूँ मेरा दायित्व ही नहीं मेरी जिम्मेदारी बनती है
I don't know what law I have broken.
कि महिलाओं की सशक्तीकरण की बात करूं।
मी प्रियांका विक्रम चतुर्वेदी राज्यसभेची सदस्य म्हणून निवडून आले असल्याने ईश्वर साक्ष शपथ घेते की कायद्याद्वारे स्थापित झाले आहे अशा भारतीय संविधानाबद्दल मी खरी श्रद्धा व निष्ठा बाळगेन।
वो फूल नहीं वो चिंगारी है, वो भारत की नारी है। Representing Mr. Uddhav Thackeray's Shiv Sena in the Rajya Sabha, Mrs. Priyanka Chaturvedi speaks up right before Maharashtra election in such a way that you never thought. How did you enter politics?
That's a question which I have answered a couple of times. What happened was that when 26/11 terror attacks happened in Mumbai, it kind of changed my outlook in life. I had a decent blog going for myself as well as my small business that I had, which was to recruit people from the media. At that time, broadcast media was booming, and so was radio, so was a lot of other activities around digital platforms. So I was into recruitment because I came from media background myself. I was totally disconnected. I mean, I'm a voter who understands the politics of it all, but I was disconnected to the idea of politics. You know how it is with everybody. Nobody wants to mess around with the system, with the politicians, everything. So I was one of those, and I had 2 kids. But when 26/11 terror attacks happened, it kind of just shifted my focus from being just an income tax payee as well as just a voter to someone who wanted to make a more powerful, take a responsibility that would help the society at large. So at that time, there were women bloggers who had got together, and they were hand-holding some of the victims of the 26/11 terror attacks. I think if you ask any Mumbaiker who loves their city, there's nobody I've met whose life goals did not change post 26/11. So it happened with me. One thing led to another. After we finished helping them, and Tata Foundation very kindly took over the charge of hand-holding them. I started along with others a street school, a school which brought in slum kids, were giving them free 2-hour support course. I wouldn't say educating them, but we were supporting them in subjects where they were weak, ensure that they were enrolled in schools, and they were not being misled or getting into behaviors which are not appropriate, and skilling them, etc. That gave me a lot of satisfaction. And from there, the Youth Congress was starting with the idea of bringing in people who are from non-political background. And at that time, we also saw a lot of citizen movement with Aam Aadmi Party emerging out of it.
Yeah.
So those were things that made me get into politics. There's also a sense of क्या कर लेंगे, हम जैसों को ले लेते हैं. They show that they've done it, but then you end up reaching nowhere. But thankfully, I continue to get engaged, involved. Gurdas Kamaji was the member of parliament of that constituency where I stay, and he ensured that I would be involved, I would understand how things work. Yeah. And it was an eye-opener for me because a lot of things you take for granted. Like I used to blame, though, civics was one of the subjects, but you don't really read civics. So those are things where you easily blame your member of parliament of not doing enough, your MLA not doing enough, your corporators not doing enough. But understanding their challenges from their perspective was an eye-opener. So that is how one thing led to another, and I am where I am.
Priyanka ji, you have been through immense trawl. And I think as a woman in politics, character assassination just comes, unfortunately, very nasty and by default of it.
Yeah.
I've seen the number of times you have given savage replies to the trolls. When you left Congress, you came up with a lot of allegations against Congress. Did you later take up on it? Was there any action taken against it? Because, why am I asking this? Because a lot of young women I know who may be wanting to, even in college, who may want to get into college politics, they take a step back. They can't fight back. They don't have that.
Yeah.
वो आ जाता है कि सब कुछ.
There was a moment in time when this entire episode happened, and when I had to face this entire question of when they were, reinstated, those people were reinstated back. I really faced that crisis of choice at that moment. And I was advised by many people, just let it go. Congress will address this problem after the election because we are bang in the middle of the election. And the other option in front of me was like, if I agree to this of silence or not taking this up, then I'm doing a huge disservice to a whole lot of ideas that I stand for, what my daughter would see as, this is how it should be. what my son would see, this is how I will be. So that was a moment of decision, a tough decision that I took, and it was a very spur of the moment where I said, if my party doesn't address them, then it's Arya Par for me. And I did what I did. I resigned. The second thing that was also on my mind is and I thank Aditya ji for it, Aditya Thackeray ji for it. He told me that this 10 years has been your fight. You've made that space for yourself. Why would you want to give this up? And this is not the first time in history that someone moves from one party to another, and it won't be the last. So why would you want to give up that 10 years of your own hard work, of having reached where you've reached? And that is how it, so did my husband. He told me the same thing. And I took the call of not giving up politics, but changing the platform from which I do my politics. And of course, there was trolling. Of course, there was a lot of nonsense spoken about me, lots of things said about me, which is okay. I mean, when you're leading a public life, this becomes a part of the regular grind.
Does it affect your mental health?
It does. I mean, to say that it doesn't would be a lie that I'm telling to the world, and telling the women especially, simply because it is important for the women to know that it's not a fight worth giving up. It's a fight worth fighting. Because your story perhaps could create 10 more such stories. So I do, yeah, it was mentally disturbing at times. I went off Twitter for 2-3 days. I remember my brother telling me it won't do good for your mental health. I also literally collapsed because there was so much accusation coming my way, and things were being spoken. But what I really liked out of this entire thing was a huge amount of support I received. And somehow I'm one of those who looks at the glass as half full rather than half empty. I would rather focus on the positives I saw. People who I never thought would stand by me were standing by me. Who I never assumed would fight my fight were fighting for me. And when I switched over, I was totally dreading to read the headlines the next day. But the headlines were kind to me. Probably they understood my journey. They understood my story. So this is what I look at. And, it takes a toll on you. Yes, it does. But take a step back sometimes. But conserve your energy to fight another day, because this is a never-ending fight. So I've always told, whenever I go to colleges, whenever I speak to students, especially girls who are talking about being in politics, I said, once you're committed to your cause, don't give up and don't be silenced. Because bullies love the idea of silencing you. But when you shout down the bully, they'd be the ones who are scared of you. So this is how it is.
Is it difficult right now being in Shiv Sena and defending Congress at the same point of time? Personally, does it hurt somewhere?
No, not really, because what we have is an alliance. We haven't merged each other's parties, right? And I do not defend the party for anything that they do. I don't see reasons to. And the good part about my party is, the Shiv Sena, is it has been an outspoken party. Even when it was an alliance with the BJP, if they felt Rafale was an issue, they ensured that they spoke up on Rafale being an issue. If they at any point in time felt that BJP is erring, is on the wrong side of history, we would speak up. And it continues to be the same even in the Congress, with Congress in an alliance. It's not like aap bole haan to hum bolenge haan, aap bolenge na to hum bolenge na. No.
There is a space for disagreement.
Absolutely. In any alliance would be, I would say, would be doing injustice to the dharma of alliance if they agreed on every issue.
In that case, recently just that Congress have come up to say that they will be forming the largest party in Maharashtra and they will have the same thing.
Okay, so just to add one thing to
please.
this conversation earlier, I wouldn't blame an entire political party for what happened. I would blame a few people who misled the leadership into believing that A, Priyanka was irrelevant, B, Priyanka will not have much of a impact if she leaves the party. So there were people, right?
I would beg to disagree here a bit. When you say that you have a problem with people, like, they could have, it's not because you being relevant or irrelevant. Even if you were just somebody, not Miss Priyanka
No.
Chaturvedi.
I'm just, listen, there were many other issues. I did not mean to say, they said, she's not so relevant, so just, and we should not address her problem. That is not the case. I'm trying to say, what was communicated to the leadership was not the right version.
But you were always close to the leadership.
No. See, there is also a hierarchy, right? And I would be very incorrect and unethical if I said that they did not try and help. It would be wrong on my part. But at that time, the inability to be able to Now, I don't want to name the person.
Absolutely.
Because the person also is not in the Congress anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to. And that person's proximity was way more than mine. So I don't want to get into that because it's my past. I do not want to get into a blame game because, like I said, I look at glasses half full. Maybe what pushed me out has brought me here. It's
Something
as
for
simple
better.
as that. Now, something better is always awaiting you. And something which you honestly deserve is waiting for you is something that has been my life's mantra. Nothing deters me. Now, coming to the point that you were asking about, Congress party saying whatever they're saying, they can, as a political party, you want to be the leaders, right? In an alliance or whether on your own. What did BJP, Amit Shah, go and say in a public rally in Maharashtra? He said in 2024, we might be forming a government with these two alliance partners, the two parties that we broke and we've made partners with. But 2029 is only the BJP. We don't need these two alliances. And he sent a very clear message that we don't need these people. We are using them as crutches to build on our strength. So, it's incorrect to say that a political party should not have ambition. Yeah, absolutely, have your ambition. But also understand you play tango with the alliance as well. So, as a political party, I would say that we want to, we know we will lead. But the point is, I can make a lot more comments because we know what is happening on the ground. But however, we are all in it together, all committed to the alliance. And as individual political parties, we would want to see our party succeed.
And if in case, like what happened in the last time, BJP got more seats than Sena and you guys broke away from the alliance. If in case Congress gets more seat, will you be okay giving that CM and Uddhav Thackeray not leading with the same face?
Okay, that's a very different question. It was, we didn't break our alliance because they won more seats. Let's be very clear.
Okay.
We were in an alliance with them for 25 years.
Very long time.
Not just long time. Please understand. BJP saw its lows. BJP saw its highs. And we stood by them through thick and thin. And whether we were getting important ministries, we were not getting important ministries, what did not matter to us. Because for us, it is the alliance which has come to power. So we will fulfill the dharma of what an alliance should be. And I can challenge you on this. Okay? If you look at Shiv Sena's role in history, has only been a supportive partner, but at the same time having its own identity and having its own interest, which is the state of Maharashtra. And Maharashtra should be seen, heard, and should get justice. That was it. And we had chief minister. So we did not break up because of that. We broke up because a commitment was made to us. And I think it is important that commitments are lived up to. If we've stayed with you all for 25 years, irrespective of the leaderships that you all had, various changing leadership that you all had, and through your highs and lows, then you understand and respect that alliance. You don't break away from that alliance by the virtue of coming to power with 303 seats and thinking that everyone else is irrelevant. So that is how it worked out. A commitment is made before election. It's not adhered to post-elections. Then if you're a political party which is choosing not to follow the dharma, why should I be restricted to my choices? So we made that choice. We broke away. And also in 2014, we contested separately, but we came back together. So that is how it works. It's a political system.
Logically, they had more numbers because if you
So
see,
how
look
does
at,
now? Okay,
about the Kashmir,
okay,
if you look at
Bihar.
the Kashmir thing about
Forget
tomorrow.
everything. My simple question: Bihar, who has more numbers? Why is it logical? If you can be illogical in Bihar, why apply logic in Maharashtra?
No,
And
I'm
no,
also
no,
taking
no,
example
no,
of
allow me to
Kashmir on
complete.
that.
Allow me to complete. I will come to Kashmir later. 2014 to 2019, we did not even insist on a deputy chief minister.
Mhm.
Whatever ministries came to us, we did. Whatever work was assigned to us, we did. But if 2019 also you believe, no, we will do it our way, I'm sorry. It's not about numbers. Please understand. I'm sure BJP, Amit Shah ji, and when Uddhav ji sat together, they knew all this. Na? Kisi ko zyada milega, kisi ko kam milega. That is irrelevant. आपने जो कमिटमेंट किया है उससे फिर आप भागोगे तो आप कितना भी अपने आप को चाणक्य बनाने की कोशिश करो उससे बड़ा चाणक्य मिलेगा. So that is a very simple thing. And now to the question of what if Congress gets more numbers. Congress can get more numbers, Congress may not get more numbers, we make lead. It all depends on the outcome. However, we must understand if you look at all the popularity rankings that keep coming, and there are so multiple surveys going on, and I'm sure Congress will be doing its own survey. Everyone would be doing their own surveys. BJP must be doing its own survey. Survey after survey in Maharashtra shows that people of the state want Uddhavji back as a chief minister. He's the most acceptable face across political parties. Even Devendra Fadnavis was a close second, not a close second, a distant second. And now, by the virtue of him becoming more unpopular, Mr. Shinde has taken over Devendra Fadnavis, not Uddhavji.
Okay.
So by far, in every survey after survey, it shows that. So if the sentiment of the people is with him, I'm very certain the alliance would sooner or later come to that agreement. But that is another battle to fight when we come to that.
I don't believe in surveys anymore after the Haryana election. We'll come to this,
No,
Priyanka
those
ji.
surveys were more to do with exit polls and all that, right? These surveys are just checking on the sentiment of the mood of the people. They're not saying who are you voting for. They're saying who do you think is the best suited to lead the state. So again, you're right. No,
But
no one believes in it.
people's choices
But
don't
seeing
matter
on the
these
ground,
days.
we are seeing
Yeah.
a different narrative.
How do you see that entire Haryana election? Because in Haryana, there were two parties there, BJP versus Congress. But here in Maharashtra, there are multi-parties fighting against each other. There are faction segments. How do you see then this is going to influence here?
No, there's no influence. It would be incorrect to say that the macro narrative has been, oh look, BJP has bounced back and BJP has outdone the Congress, right? And very deservedly so. If you look at the narrative, was anti-BJP. In Haryana, I was told there is going to be, again, everyone will remember Yogendra Yadav after I say this word. There's a tsunami for Congress. This is the sentiment that everybody came across in Haryana for whatever reason. And suddenly the narrative changing would need to a lot of introspection coming from I would say the Congress party. The issues, of course, the farmers' issues, the women,
Giant
the
issue, the
wrestlers'
class.
issue, and everything. And BJP played under the radar, made the right combinations, managed to get a vote bank which was largely feeling insecure about the idea of what was being.
So you agree that BJP could give them a secure chamber and could be very well.
I don't know if they gave them a secure narrative, but what they gave them was a sense of, okay, listen, you're safer with us. They managed to do that. How, why, what is something the voters will tell me because it came as a shocker. Because एक तरफ आप tsunami सुन रहे हो, फिर जब numbers देख रहे हो और सवेरे numbers थे, oh, single majority, 50 से ज़्यादा seats, and then suddenly tang 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 tang, and by that afternoon reality hits. So yeah, that was a bit of a dampener. Obviously, we're going into an election in Maharashtra, but in Maharashtra it's a very different scenario. Maharashtra, there are also, you have to go back to the cultural history of Maharashtra with regards to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. It is always believed that he did not bow down to the Mughals, which is Delhi. He fought them. And now we are seeing a government which is bowing down to every whim.
You're comparing BJP with Mughals or something?
No, I'm not comparing anyone to everyone.
Okay.
Listen, this is such a false thing to say. I'm
Okay.
saying power center in Delhi.
Okay.
Okay, let's compare.
I won't read under the lines.
There is no under the line. I don't
Okay.
talk under the line. If I have to call them Mughals, I'll call them Mughals. If I want to
That's
call
something really good
Tughlaqi
about you.
Farman, I will call Tughlaqi Farman. So I'm not someone who will try and find words to speak under the whatever.
You're good at that.
Yeah, probably that's my only USP. So what I have to say is that by the power center, right, we do not go as per what Maharashtra needs. Maharashtra needs industries. Maharashtra needs jobs. Maharashtra needs safety. The law and order was a known thing in India, that one of the safest states in the country is Maharashtra. Not just in India, across the world. That if you go to Mumbai, you are safe. Right? The law and order has collapsed. Today, Maharashtra is dictated by those two men who control the Delhi narrative. Industries are going out of Maharashtra because it suits somebody's agenda. Today, the youth of my state is jobless. Today, women of my state are feeling unsafe. Badlapur should be a case in discussion.
But you guys were in power for a very long time before these people came.
2.5 years of COVID. You think it's a long time? I think we need to be in power for 25 years, because even under the period of COVID, we managed to get the highest investments for the state of Maharashtra.
Also good with your COVID management. That's something I can't take away from you.
Okay, despite, that's what I said, despite the COVID management, highest attraction of business was to my state. At the time when the world was not investing, world was cautious. Our industries minister and our environment minister, Aditya Thackerji, went to Davos. And they got business worth lakhs and crores to the state. And all those MOUs that were signed was sooner or later after our government collapsed, have gone to which state you can guess for yourself. So that's a problem. I will speak for that. And those are the sentiments that are attached, that there has been a betrayal.
So you say that you guys need to be, I just quote you, told that we need to be in 25 years in power. In that case, BJP has been there not even yet 25 years, but there are still people asking you, what have you done? What have you done? Unfortunately.
Obviously, they will be asked. They showed us the sky and the moon and the stars and everything. They said 15 लाख तुम्हारे अकाउंट में आएंगे और फिर कह दिया जुमला है. फिर कहा था कि सारे करप्ट आदमियों को वापस देश में लाएंगे. करप्शन की भंडार बनी हुई है. They managed to escape out of my country, right, from Nirav Modi to various other Modis. They said हम लोग सबको wealthy करेंगे, farmer income दुगनी करेंगे. What happened? We'll give you 2 crore jobs a year, highest rate of joblessness. They said we will make India a super power. We will have bullet train by 2024. What are we talking about? So if you're promising me the sun and the moon and the stars, then I'm not giving you 25 years. You've asked for 5 years. And you've promised me the sun, moon and stars. Not for you to call it a jumla then. Today, one industrialist owns India's ports, airports, mines, power, steel, important minerals, importing low quality coal and by selling it at the high quality coal prices to the state governments. 104% rise in electricity in Gujarat itself because they are the only people supplying power. Is that the country you envisage? Did you envisage a country which will 1% of the population will have 40% of its wealth? This inequity? No, I didn't. No one should. And that is my fight. And that is why I'm saying that I don't think anybody needs 25 years. 5 years is also good enough. For us, 2.5 years was also good enough. We managed. We proved that our intent was the development of Maharashtra. So that is what I'm trying to say. The issues of Maharashtra and the issues of Haryana differ a lot. Terms of number of parties contesting differs a lot. And the worst part and the worst thing that hits people of Maharashtra is the betrayal. And Ajit Pawar, who the Prime Minister says 70,000 crore ka ghotala is an alliance. Other scam. The old BJP workers will tell you that how they feel about this entire idea. Other scam was something which was totally built up by the Bharatiya Janata Party against Mr. Ashok Chavan. Today he was sent to the Rajya Sabha 24 hours after joining the BJP. Out of the 545 MPs that we have in the parliament, and the number of MPs that 240, at least 100 of them are from the Congress, who switched to the BJP. So half of your cabinet also would have former congressmen.
We can't talk about the turncoats. It keeps happening in politics.
No, it's not. I'm not talking about the turncoats. My point was not that. वो तो मुझे भी कोई कहेगा.
Absolutely.
So I'm not talking about the turncoats at all. I'm saying a political party which you charged of corruption, individuals you charged of corruption, are now in alliance with you, right? So what corruption narrative are you talking about? Chandrababu Naidu, I just read today in the morning, the ED case that was being pursued against him has been dropped. So why was the ED case being pursued? The people, the state of Maharashtra, all those who switched over to the BJP or moved into the alliance with the BJP, 70% of them are full of relief because all the ED, CBI, IT guys don't trouble them. There's Harshvardhan Patilji, who's now probably going back, has joined the NCP Sharad Pawar faction. He was in the BJP, moved from the Congress to the BJP. Said, मैं रात में बड़ी चैन की नींद सोता हूं because I know ED, CBI, IT will not go after me. So my point is just this, that when you build a narrative of the sun, moon and stars, that in the next 5 years I will do this, and then you give them demonetization and an unplanned GST, then I don't think you deserve 25 years. Because we've seen a trailer of the 5 years that you've governed.
Priyanka, you just spoke about betrayal. I catch that word. The section of action that you are in, led by Uddhav ji, you guys have been proclaiming to be the torchbearers of Balasaheb Thackeray's vision.
Yeah.
And he's someone that I have also looked up to. In fact, you're not wearing your Rudraksh in your hand because for a very long point of time, I was having that feeling that I was shy enough to flaunt my Rudraksh. But I remember you're the only MP who was wearing a Rudraksh in your hand, and that was quite something appealing and made me very feel proud about it. Talking about the fact that you guys have been the torch bearers about of what Balasaheb Thackeray vision, don't you think when it comes to a lot of topics, be it the walk of board, be it be so many other topics, especially the walk of board, whatever is happening,
What's happening?
where he came up to say that I won't let, I won't let, there is a double standard there because Balasaheb Thackeray ji was clearly against the idea what he was staunch fighter of Sanatan Dharam. And this is not something
No,
that
what makes you think we're not fighting for Sanatan?
it's not me, it's something happening over the Twitter.
No. Twitter. Listen, I'm not here to answer what Twitterati speaks, which
Those
is
are
half
the people.
of the.
Those are the people
No,
that who are your
listen.
audience.
I'm sorry. Don't be confused with some Twitter chatter, which is sponsored by political parties at times, and don't be misled. Let me tell you. I will first tell you this Rudraksh story.
Okay.
Rudraksh was handed over to me by Shankaracharya ji, who passed away. And till the time he was alive, he used to send me the Rudraksh every 2 months to change. And my faith in him was unparalleled. When he passed away, and I did not have direct contact with the next Shankaracharya, I gave it up. I gave it up because of that. The Shankaracharya ji, who used to give it to me with his blessings, was something that was with me all the time. And I'll continue to flaunt it.
And it looks really good on you.
And looks good is another thing. It's a matter of my devotion. Listen, I'll also tell you one thing. I'm a very spiritual person.
Okay.
But I don't wear my spirituality on my sleeve. Or my religion on my sleeve. Because for me, my nation is very important. Now you're saying, oh, you were the torchbearers of Sanatan Dharam. What made us not become the torchbearers of Sanatan Dharam? Because we broke up with BJP. What makes you think BJP is the torchbearer of Sanatan Dharam?
I never told that.
No, you are saying Twitter chatter. What is Twitter chatter? I want to know from you, since you are interviewing me and you asked me this question, Balasaheb Thackeray ji's legacy, Hindu Hriday Samrat Balasaheb Thackeray ji had very strong opinions, just like I have a very strong opinion and I'm expressing it to you. But what I'm speaking to you, in politics, time and tide wait for no person. And you're not living in silos that what was spoken 30 years ago or 20 years ago under some environment is going to be spoken even now. Does that mean we've moved away from that thought process? No, we haven't. How are
but
you?
The core
how
is not remaining the same.
How? Just listen. This is the problem, and I think it is so problematic that y'all were torchbearers of Sanatan Dharam and Hindutva. Now y'all have given away, and you tried to first imply that I gave up the Rudraksh for some reason, for that particular reason.
I was praising you for the Rudraksh.
Yeah, no. You said you
manner.
used to wear it. You used to.
I just saw that you're not wearing it today.
You're not flaunting it. I'm not. I never flaunted it.
My choice of bad.
Yeah. So just explaining to you, I never flaunted it. It was part of my being because I felt that the blessings of Shankaracharya ji was with me all the time.
Absolutely.
Right. So that was it. When he passed away, I couldn't go visit, but I gave this up. I don't talk about it, but since you mentioned it. Now with regards to Sanatan Dharam. Now you tell me, what is your dharma? Is your dharma, is my dharma, and I'm a proud Hindu. And I have no compulsions in trying to say it in any other way. But as a Hindu, am I told to fight against everybody, make it about us versus them? What is Sanatan Dharam? Vasudeva Kutumbakam, right? The world is my family. When you say this, when Swami Vivekanand calls everyone his brothers and sisters, यानी तुम मेरे लिए सब एक समान हो. क्या कोई कम है, कोई ज्यादा है, कोई छोटी बहन, बड़ी बहन? He didn't say that. Or he didn't say my American brothers and my Indian sisters. So please understand, that is my Sanatan Dharam. When Uddhav ji was handling COVID during the period of COVID, many people said, oh, you're not opening up the temples. He said, I'm not even opening up the masjids. I'm not even opening the churches. I'm not even opening the gurudwaras. That is my dharam. And my dharam is inherently secular. My dharam is not beating one against the other or making it us versus them. And unfortunately, today people have started to believe that everything that comes out of the mouth of BJP is Sanatan Dharmi. Let me also tell you one more thing. The Ram Mandir that has come up, Ayodhya Ram Mandir, it has been a 500-year-old fight, 500 साल. BJP कब बनी है? 1980 के दशक में. And they've stolen the narrative of all the priests, all the sons, all the seers, all those who gave up their lives for this temple, the Supreme Court, and made it about itself. Are you okay with your dharma being appropriated and being traded for votes? I'm not okay with that. I'm definitely not okay with that. And if you look at our, even when Bala Sahib ji was there, he never ever put it in his manifesto that Ram Mandir banana hai. Because for him, it was not about politics. It was about faith. About reigniting our cultural diversity and our Hindu dharma. So my point is just this, that somebody, just because we had a fallout with BJP, I can tell you this with guarantee, जितनी बार नरेंद्र मोदी जी वहाँ पे नहीं गए ना अयोध्या, उससे ज़्यादा बार उद्धव जी गए. हम पहले चीफ मिनिस्टर थे जो जैसे ही राम मंदिर का डिसीजन आया था, अलायंस हमारा किसके साथ था? कांग्रेस और एनसीपी के साथ. उनको कोई दिक्कत नहीं, कुछ लोग उनके भी गए. हम लोग सब पहली बार गए थे मंदिर जैसे रामलला के दर्शन करने, कोर्ट के ऑर्डर आने के बाद. और हम गर्व से कहती हूँ, माइन वाज द फर्स्ट पॉलिटिकल पार्टी which gave a donation to build a Bhavya Ram temple. What are we talking about? Why are we reducing our dharma, Sanatan Dharam, to what BJP thinks, to their idea of Sanatan Dharam? My Sanatan is a lot bigger. My civilizational history is a lot bigger. Mughals आए, Britishers आए, सबने खत्म करने की कोशिश की. मेरा धर्म तब नहीं खत्म हुआ तो इन लोगों के कहने से क्या खत्म हो जाएगा?
किन लोगों से?
जो लोग बोलते हैं ना हिंदू धर्म खतरे में है, उन लोगों से. कौन बोलता है?
कौन बोलता है?
आप बताओ.
आपको बताएगा? आपने
नहीं, मुझे नहीं पता. मैं आपसे पूछ
पर
रही हूँ.
आपने बताया.
हाँ, मैंने बताया नहीं, आप सुनती नहीं हो.
Your statement, I
Again, my
didn't ask
statement,
that.
I'm saying, I'm just borrowing the statement that is given by people. Who are these people? बटोगे नहीं तो कटोगे, ये पता है किसने कहा है? You tell me. In case you don't know, then I'll be happy to tell you.
I'm not even disagreeing. with you, not
बटोगे
even
तो
agreeing with it.
कटोगे, बिखरोगे तो फंसोगे, बिखरोगे तो वो लोग जो देश के खिलाफ हैं, हिंदू धर्म के खिलाफ हैं, जीतेंगे. तो मैं यही बोल रही हूँ.
But what about quote unquote Sartan se juda?
हाँ, they are as fundamentalist as these people. No space in my society for them either. And why should I be justifying for anybody, some random comment coming from? Listen, tell me whose political narrative is Sartan se juda in this country?
I would ask you this.
I'm
one
asking
thing
you
going
a
off
very
the
simple
right.
question.
I would
no,
okay.
since you brought in Sartan se juda, it's a fundamentalist call by some religion, right? Which I do not support. I denounce with all possible ways, methods, mechanisms that I can use. But tell me one political party in India which is using this particular word to get votes. Tell me. Can you think of any? I can give you one political party which is saying, batoge to katoge. That is my difference.
I would ask you this one question. You know, you have been a lady politician, have always stood for women too. Don't you think with, I may totally disagree, 100% disagree with whatever Nupur Sharma from BJP went ahead and told. I may totally disagree with her. But don't you think with whatever the repercussion that took place later, that even till today, she cannot step out of her house properly without having that
Who's
fear?
this a failure of? The government of India, right?
No, do you condemn with whatever
Absolutely condemn with all the energy left in me to tell you this.
Why are you so angry?
No, I got annoyed because you're going on making it about Sartan se juda and all of that simply because
I just stated that once.
No, again, no, because you're trying to say Sanatan Dharam versus Sartan se juda. And I've only been trying to tell
just counter
okay,
you with whatever
now let's
opinion
come
you
back to
stated.
this. Let me come back to this because you're just going into a tutu meme, which I don't want to get in.
No, I'm just giving a counter
You
opinion
asked
for
about
what you
Nupur
told.
Sharma. That's not a counter opinion.
See, if you give an example,
If
that
I'm-
would always
okay,
be
now
there,
can I
because-
come back to this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, happy to come back to this. I condemn this entire hounding of Nupur Sharma. Absolutely condemn. To the, I mean, what can I say? If you ask me this multiple times, I'll say it. not just to Nupur Sharma, any such fundamentalist related killing in my nation. I condemn it, and I will not even get into ifs and buts. However, whatever, but what about this? No, I condemn it
Irrespective.
totally.
Absolutely.
But I have a question to ask you. What is the Home Minister of my country doing? What
Great.
is my government doing? Forget all of them. What has the BJP done?
Even I agree with you on this.
So yeah, so it's as simple as that.
Even I would have a problem.
So my
with BJP
question
on
is to
this.
those who are in the positions of power, are turning a blind eye to whatever she was your part of your political party.
Calling her a fringe element.
Whatever they did, I'm not getting into the words they used. What she said was absolutely, I would say, controversial. And it would have hurt many sentiments, which is a fact. If someone would have said this about my God, I would have had the same problem. But not such a fundamentalist problem. So I think it becomes incumbent of any government to ensure that it doesn't lead to a point where it takes away more lives or makes her live under threat. It's this is what I'm trying to say.
I'm glad. I agree with you on this. I completely agree
I'm
with
so
you
glad
on this.
that
That's
we
something
finally
we
agree on
agreed on
something.
something. My work is to disagree. My work is to question.
Okay.
And I think that's what opposition has always been speaking
So are you
about.
opposition?
I'm opposition to anyone I'm talking to. I need to
Okay,
ask them what
interesting.
people want to ask.
Okay.
And maybe I get some good controversies.
Yeah, it's okay. Controversy is good always.
Are they?
Yes.
How do you manage to get some really good pictures from, there's so many parliamentarians who are jealous of you. Yeah, I
They're
mean, that's a
jealous of
secret,
me?
Yeah. Because you get so many good pictures. And I told one of them that, she's
Um,
photogenic, you're not.
Oh, this is the first time I'm hearing
One
this.
of your picture that I have also seen and I really liked it. You were holding an umbrella in the parliament and Parish ke time.
Yeah. I mean, I can't help it if photographers like me, right? वो मेरी गलती नहीं, मैं नहीं जाकर किसी photographer से कह रही हूँ भैया मैं इस pose में खड़ी होंगी तो मेरी photo.
But that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a very sweet one, and but I mean, I would only thank my parents' genes. And too bad if someone else feels bad that they're not being photographed enough.
Maybe I'll ask them to accompany you next time.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be happy to. I'll be happy to.
Yesterday, one of your spokesperson, I think his name was Kishore Tiwari ji. He went ahead in the Navika show and told the same thing that हम किसी के साथ दोस्त नहीं थे, and if BJP gives us the same ship for Udhav ji, we'll also be friends with the BJP. So he has been. It's going all around over.
It can go anywhere. I mean, again,
but he's your spokesperson.
So he has said something. Does that become my party leadership's line? Maybe not.
I think your party leaders sometimes get कि भाई क्या बोल दिया? Do also they get sometimes.
वो तो BJP वाले भी कहते होंगे ना बेचारे.
Yeah, I think with all the
से भी कह दिया क्या कह दिया.
I think all the parties get that.
So
right?
Of course there is listen, a spokesperson's role is also very difficult and challenging at times. And you're going on a Times Now debate. We all know which side of the spectrum Times Now is. And I don't even want to get into an argument.
But now you're this is quite funny that you're now, blaming Navika and Times Now for this.
How did you say I'm blaming her?
Because you're saying that which side are they?
I know, I'm so sorry. Are you saying I'm not blaming.
Okay.
I'm just stating a fact, which she herself has stated. So don't, say, oh my God, you're blaming. I'm not.
Okay.
They are on a particular side. They have chosen their side. Republic has chosen its side, which is absolutely okay. I did not once denounce which side she's chosen. Did I denounce it? Was I blaming her? I was like, you are going on a debate on Times Now, and you're bound to be asked questions which make it uncomfortable, discomforting to you, and you might end up saying something what you're saying. For people to continue to, oh look, it's become popular and everybody's following, theek hai, ho gaya. Does that change my party leader's decision? Does it? Does one debate, one statement change my party leadership's course or journey? It doesn't. So neither am I blaming anybody, neither do I saying anything. Since you asked me this question, I'm only telling you that we all know which side of the spectrum Times Now is. And I'm saying this, so I'm not trying to blame anybody.
So whatever Mr. Kishore Tiwari ji spoke, it is out of his own and it has nothing to do with what Shiv Sena is stating.
Very simply, if you are going in with Mahavikas Aghadi, we are sticking with Mahavikas Aghadi. And Uddhav ji has said this multiple times. I'm very surprised that they're highlighting this, but aren't highlighting this part. Uddhav ji says, किसी को भी मुख्यमंत्री बना दो, पर इन लोगों के चुंगल से महाराष्ट्र को हटा दो. But that won't be highlighted because that goes against everyone's narrative. Everyone who's invested in the idea of spreading a narrative. Yeah.
So tell me something, Priyanka ji, like, isn't it really very difficult for all the political parties, because you have been in media and comms for a very long time, कि opposition को भी संभालना है, alliance को भी संभालना है, media को भी संभालना है, अब अपने लोगों को भी संभालना है, भाई क्या जाके को for all the parties, be it
Actually,
BJP,
हमारा
Congress,
तो
everyone.
बहुत clear है कि we do not need to go explaining anything to anybody. Like again, I'm telling you, I don't need to explain to you what my party is doing. My party has been, like I said, whether in the BJP or in the Congress, we speak our mind. And I'm sure by now you've realized I speak my mind too, right? So we speak our mind. There's no compulsion that we have to fit into some narrative that is being set. Every 9 p.m. debate is a narrative which the media is trying to set. It's not what the country wants to hear. Let me also tell you, the nation doesn't want to know what you're debating at 9 p.m. because that time is over, long gone. People have moved on from broadcast television channels, news channels. They are not consuming their news through, 9 p.m. Navika Kumarji and 9 p.m. X. And I'm not pleased. Now you'll say, oh, look, you've named Navika Kumar. I'll name 9 p.m. Rajdeep Sardesai. I'll name 9 p.m. Probably Barkha Dutt also has a show. 9 p.m. probably Ravish Kumar also airs his show. 9 p.m. whoever anchor I can think of, I'm naming them because I don't want you to believe, oh my God, you blamed Navika ji 2 times over. I've not blamed her. Okay, so anyway, so they have they are setting up an agenda, they are putting up a narrative, they think it's the most important thing to discuss. Do I need to be a participant to this to build on their narrative? No, I don't need to be. But yes, when I need to give a clarification if something is being spread incorrectly about my political party, about my party leadership, but to set that narrative right, I go on those television channels at that time. So yeah, I mean, of course, political parties feel this कि हमें ये भी करना है, ये भी करना है, इनको भी संभालना है, इनको भी करना है. तो वो होता है ना कभी कभी कि why do you need to go sit on television channels every day and just either make a comment like this which goes viral or say things which go viral. So yeah, it happens. I'm sure it
agree with
happens.
you, but at the same point of time, there was one thing that quite I can be wrong here, but again, I'm entitled to my own opinion here. So when a moment, any politician, be it be Mrs. Priyanka Chaturvedi, be it be Prime Minister Narendra Modi, anyone saying me that I am not supposed to clear you, I'm not supposed to be answerable to you, or whatever, it comes to me like, what? Because I'm your voter.
One second, listen. I did not say I'm not answerable to my voter. Did I, during my conversation, ever once say that? I said media sets its own agenda for 9 p.m. I also told you that voters have moved on from watching broadcast television set debates to other ways of consuming news.
So if not media, you would still be answerable to your voters,
No,
right?
I mean, please don't jump the gun here. When I'm talking about media debates, कि हम debates भी कर ले, ये भी कर ले.
Because you mentioned Priyanka
No,
ji that I am not. I'll get the exact statement. It was something very clear.
No. I think I'm sorry. You'll have to listen to what I'm saying. Your question was. Let me repeat. Your question was, Priyanka ji, political parties को कभी कभी ये भी लगता होगा, handle the political party, handle the alliance, or go and explain to the media channels. And what I told you in return was that yes, my party says you are not answerable to these media channels. And I also went on to tell you, let me be very clear because I don't want to mislead people who are listening to you. I also said to you the 9 p.m. agenda, which I included Ravish Kumar, Barkha Dutt, so that there's no feeling in your mind that I'm naming just a few individuals. The 9 p.m. debate is not an agenda of the people. The agenda is of the media. Right. So that is what I was trying to tell you. And I also told you that people and voters are not tuning into the 9 p.m. show.
Whatever the agenda is being set.
Now I'll leave it to you to understand what I've said. I'm answerable to every single person of this country. So what do I do? Now you'll ask me, what do you do? I will directly talk to them by making my own video. I will directly put it out on my social media channels. If I want a lengthier video, I'll use YouTube and I'll put it out there.
Go on the ground.
Of course, with that, you said media, right? I'm assuming social media platforms. And how do you ensure that your agenda is not diluted at the behest of someone's TRPs or at the behest of someone's biases or at the behest of what they believe people want to hear? That is what I was trying to tell you. At no point in time did I say I'm not answerable to the voters of this country or my party is not answerable. That would be reading too much of something that has not been my point at all.
Last question before I go to the rapid fire. I think I have done you a lot of angry and I feel
no, not at all.
With my job
not
here.
At all. I don't, it doesn't anger me. It just makes me feel that perhaps we need to start listening a lot more intently to the other point of view.
Absolutely, maybe, but I would also see that my work is to read under the lines, and there are things I picked
No,
up.
then I think you should also start believing that there are people who do not speak with the intent of having something to be read between the
Maybe you will
lines.
set an example for me to believe
Hopefully,
I'll
hopefully,
search
I'll
for
build
it.
that trust in you that there are politicians
I would be
who do
happy
not
to.
need to get you all to read between the lines to achieve
I'd be
whatever the
happy to.
messaging is. Yeah,
Maybe as someone who is young, my idea needs to be changed, my perception needs to be
No,
changed. And of
no.
course, when people like you set that example,
I think what we need to change is this entire mindset that politicians do not speak up front, and there's a lot more unsaid than said. So we will find out what is the unsaid, what was being trying to be said in the words that were used. So that is one thing that I think politicians really need to work on.
yeah,
They're not used to such upfront saying what they feel like, and that's where your feeling comes from.
all the politicians come with a smile, they wave at us and they go away, and we just don't get to talk to them. They don't interact. Like if I see
I
as a
have
voter,
no idea
if I
because
see
I'm
as a
not one
voter,
of those.
I'm not from Maharashtra.
Sadly.
Well, if I get good poha, I may think of changing.
Oh, 100%. And that I can assure you. Come for the elections. You'll
Oh, I'm
get so much
planning to
poha and
come for
vada
poha.
pav. And
Really?
vada pav, of course.
You mentioned in one place that your in-laws are hardcore pro BJP. I'm afraid I can't even date someone who is a hardcore of something that anyone who is hardcore of anything, I can't even date them.
Hmm.
How do you balance that? घर जाके like वो problem नहीं होता यार? Because my family, my mom is a hardcore anti-BJP. My father has been a center to right, and I remember I'm more of a centrist. And my mom one day during the farmers' protest, she woke me up in the middle of the night, and she's like, "What has this government done?" I'm like, "What happened? Why are you scolding me in the middle of the night? Do you face any such thing? कभी कुछ हुआ है ऐसा?"
No. I learned very early in life that there's no point in spoiling relationships. And we have come to a point where, of course, I have lost many friends also on the path. Not that I was very overly friendly or I've had the best friends. I have a very close knit family. We are 5 sisters and brother, and we are just too close to each other. And whatever I need to share, I share with them. But however, even amongst the four sisters and that we are and a brother, two of them are slightly pro BJP, but we don't bring up all. I learned that very early in life during my initial political steps that I had taken, that it's not worth fighting for. I have seen many family fights happen, fights happen over dinner tables over us versus BJP, BJP versus X, Narendra Modi जी के लिए तो यानी World War III हो जाए इंडिया में. India can start that. So there has been that phase, but I don't indulge in that because I've had too much politics to see, to do, and to speak about. So when I'm at home, if you think he's the best thing to have happened after, whoever you think was the best earlier, good for you. Live with it, but don't dump that idea on me. Good for you. I'm not going to argue why I don't like him, or I don't like a particular ideology or particular thought process. I'm not getting into that argument. Not worth my fight. Not worth losing friendships over or family relationships over. I've seen my own husband get into very spirited fights, and he was also hardcore when Mr. Modi was coming. Like I said, the sun, moon, and stars were promised, and of course there was this entire anti-Congress sentiment at that point in time. And my husband also believed that years the change maker, but he was very disillusioned over the years, very very disillusioned as someone who was supporting this idea. I remember saying this in one of the interviews that the day Congress lost spectacularly, and I was a spokesperson, and I was sitting there from 7 a.m. till late night. My family, various sides of the family, were celebrating. Right, I was the only one who went into a corner and was crying her heart out. That was the sentiment at that point in time. Learning from it, yeah, that ठीक है, तुम्हें खुशी मिली, तुमने choice किया, you regret to live the choice. My husband continues to feel that he was very disillusioned. Many of my family members who are pro Modi have been disillusioned. But then there are some who are on the feeling कि वो तो भैया जब वो कहते हैं वो अवतार ही है भगवान का, तो शायद अवतार ही है भगवान का. So I'm not getting into it. ठीक है, आपके लिए वो अवतार है, आप पूजा करिए. I don't care.
What are the 3 major challenges as a woman in politics you have faced, especially being a mother, a wife, being a family lady?
I think challenges you face, a lot of personal character assassination that happens. And the reason I don't sit down and clarify or talk about it is because the more I've noticed that the more you say it out on social media, putting your perspective, there are 10 more people saying some 10 different things about you. So that takes a lot of toll, because my children, my son is 21, my daughter is going to be 18 next year. And when they read the kind of things that they write about their mother,
It hurts.
it hurts.
Absolutely.
So as a mother, when you said as a mother, what do I feel? I wish people would understand.
Grace.
Grace is one thing. We are, most of us, because of the social media platforms, we tend to become graceless. We become very judgmental. So you sit and judge my journey, and you sit and assess. You don't know me from Adams, but you just know me because I come on television. That does not mean you know any aspect of my life, my struggle, my journey, my lowest point in my life, the stress I've gone out, lived through, my financial issues, how I overcame what I did. Is y'all don't know any of it. And for you to character assassinate, and the easiest is to character assassinate. Just because, like you said, oh, photogenic है. तो photogenic हूँ भाई, मेरे माँ बाप का जो भी है दिया हुआ वो है.
That's a good thing.
What do I
right?
do? No, it may be a good thing, but it also leads to character assassination, right? Okay, why is she where she is? How did she do what she did? Why did she reach so, her rise has been so phenomenal. Not for the values I bring or the skills I bring. So that is one thing. As a mother, it just disturbs me when my children read about it, and then not that they've ever questioned me, but I'm very certain, like, why do they even know her? That's one. The second thing is, of course, this feeling of the family support. Many times, families don't support their, the women of the house making a choice to get into politics. And financially, they usually are reluctant to
Very
support
much.
simply because they are. ठीक है, I do understand their point of view कि इसमें सिर्फ पैसा खर्च होता है. There's no way of,
Yeah.
हाँ. So that is another issue that women face, that the support system. Third biggest challenge is that women face is in terms of opportunities. Once they're into the system, I knew what my core skill set was. And my core skill set was that I was good with my communication. I knew I don't have the money or the bandwidth to contest an election. And I'd be doing injustice to my own party by starting to believe that I'm like the survey sarva and I can win an election. That would be doing huge disservice to yourself and to your party by seeking a ticket and not being able to live up to that commitment. So what can I commit to was my communication. What I could commit to was my understanding of how social media is shaping up, digital platforms are shaping up, and what they're going to do in terms of political communication. And that is what I did. And my ability to contribute to an organization's skill building. So those were things I understood, and so that is one thing. So that is why I got these opportunities. I wasn't really wanting to be a threat to anybody or stepping on anyone's toes. I was making my own space. So women have to make their own space, continue to justify as well as re-emphasize why they are there where they are there. But the lack of opportunities that come their way is very disheartening. I've seen many women struggle years and years and years without any political party post or anything, but they're doing it for the love of it. If such women were given opportunities, if their love has managed to keep them into the organization building for so many years, imagine what a single post would do to them. So I think the lack of opportunities that come their way. So those are three things which I think every woman grapples with and wonders whether she should be in politics.
I'll come to the rapid fire.
Yeah.
Balasaheb Thakurji's legacy or Uddhavji's vision?
I think it's a beautiful amalgamation of both. Balasaheb Thakurji's vision, which set out the Shiv Sena, and what Uddhavji is taking Shiv Sena forward with.
Development or ideology?
I think that's a very incorrect two comparisons to make or for me to choose, because every ideology believes in development. They may have different paths towards the development, but you're all leading towards. So I wouldn't say that any of the political parties have any anti-India sentiment or anti-development sentiment. Ideology is leading it towards that particular goal through various means. So it's again complementary.
Alliance or single party?
I would say alliance brings more voices to the table. Single party starts to believe, that feeling of hubris and arrogance. That is what I feel. In India, being so diverse needs more of alliances.
Misal pav. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
Misal pav.
Misal pav. Vada pav or poha?
Vada pav, vada pav, vada pav, vada pav, vada pav. I'm crazy about vada pav. And my entire family is like, boss, chhodiye lagav. Can't. Vada pav is anytime, any hour, any day.
Where do I get authentic vada pav in Mumbai? Sorry, in Delhi.
Delhi, so there was this place, and you'd say, "Or Khan market mein kahan vada pav mil jayega," but there was soda
Soda bottle opener wala.
wala.
They're the best Irani.
He had very good vada pav.
Close.
Authentic. I know it did. फिर you go to Delhi Haat. I go to Delhi Haat. In fact, I was just returning from there. I go there whenever I'm feeling a little low, whenever I have some free time. I hang around Delhi Haat because it brings some beauty, color, diversity in all its glory.
And good shopping.
And good shopping, sasta, not too sasta, but tikau shopping,
Tikau
right?
shopping.
You're not spending a whole lot of money, and you're buying trinkets and everything, so
Yeah.
it's nice. And you've also shopped, so it's a good feeling. And so there you have a very good vada pav place. The only unfortunate part is you don't get that authentic pav that you get in Mumbai and Maharashtra. You get the mota pav in Delhi. So मैं सोच रही थी ऐसा business शुरू कर दूँ, vada pav business with pav coming from Mumbai. It will make money. And how in case you want a partner.
Yeah, I mean, would there be discount?
You'll be a co-startup. आपका
I'll
भी
be
होगा.
co-founder for it.
Co-founder. Have as many vada pavs as you want, and we'll also bring in poha. So don't worry.
Yeah, I need that. Yeah, that has to be there on the table.
And not the Indori poha.
No comments.
Maharashtra poha.
Bollywood or Maharashtra theatre? Marathi theatre, I would rather say.
I'm not into either of them, sadly.
You don't watch movies?
I'm a very bookish person. I'm a
Nerd?
bookworm. Yeah, unfortunately. So I don't really get the time to.
Time is going. People don't read anymore. That's unfortunate.
And I only read. And it's just that a book. The reason I prefer a book to anything else is because the book takes me into various situations, various places, and of course gives me solace and privacy. And also, I'm a loner.
Yeah.
I prefer my time, and there's no cacophony of noise, sound, music, whatever. You're reading at your own pace. You're in your own la la land, or reading a book. So that is something that I enjoy.
I relate a lot to you because our birthdays are nearby, and our zodiac sign definitely therefore is very similar.
Oh, is it? When is your birthday?
14 November.
Oh, my sister is 14 November.
And you're 19th. If
And I'm 19 November.
So a lot of people.
Children's Day. Hello, Children's Day. That's
God,
what my
not
child likes
having
did
this.
there. Don't I did this, huh? इसलिए child likes it there. पर मैंने तो कहा ही नहीं था. पर ये तो आपने कहा था. Oh, now I know.
I'm young.
How old are you? I'm sorry. We can ask that.
You
right?
give that
Two
elderly
women can
sister
ask
vibe.
this.
So it's okay. You give an elderly sister vibe. I'm 24.
Oh, acha. So
And I'll always remain 24.
like I'm forever 21.
Yeah, anyway, not you. I have a crush on your sari collection.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I'm like, oh damn, I remember your olive green sari, I remember your blue sari, I remember almost all your sari. I'm like, I think I have a thing for solid colors. I don't like the printed, and I'm like,
Even I don't like printed for some reason.
therefore we have the same zodiac sign.
I'm telling you, it's a very Scorpio thing.
It's a very Scorpio.
एक तो जिद्दी होते हैं.
हम दोनों हैं.
No, देखा भी,
Exactly.
the conversation showed that. Now you know why.
There's one thing I could totally relate to this. I don't watch
So you're so
movies.
much closer to my son's age. Oh my God, even he's like this, by the way. He just doesn't listen to
So
me.
I didn't give you much problem then. I think you're used to it then.
Yeah, no, he doesn't get into. He just like I'm not getting into an argument with you. You're just too old world.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he does that. You're too old world for me. Can you imagine?
No,
And
I
I'm
won't
going
take
to tell
that.
him, listen, I had a conversation with a 24-year-old. Probably he'll start respecting me more.
Oh, my parents have the same opinion about me the way you have. They're like, you don't listen to us. I'm like, no, because and then I'm like,
I have a better idea of how to run the world. Huh? Is it? He's like that. He's one of them. I have a better idea.
see,
of
but
how
I'll
to-
also listen to your idea. Because maybe that is again with, walking in this space, in political space. There are times where I have felt like going and क्या बोल रहा है ये इंसान? I hate saying this on camera. There are a lot of politicians. You're one among the politicians. I felt so happy having this banter because there are politicians. I'm like, क्या बोल रहा है? क्यों बोल रहा है?
Oh, बोल ही क्यों रहा है?
बोल ही क्यों रहा है? And then I'm like, calm down, Namisha, calm down.
Yeah. Sometimes I
And
get
you know
that
how
feeling.
difficult it's for Scorpios to calm down.
Yeah, it happens with me sometimes in the parliament also. Like, and many times I've been shouted at by the chair. Why do you keep getting up like this? Why can't you keep quiet? Why are you jumping up and down? But I'm like, I can't listen to this. It happens to me at
I
times.
got triggered when someone told me calm down. I'm like, excuse me, what do you mean by calm down?
Yeah, I have those moments too. What do you mean? I'm not calm? I'm always calm.
I'm always
And
calm.
you don't get to tell me what to do.
That's my life. You are being patriarchal with me right now.
Misogyny bhi add kar dete hain.
Now I realize it's the entire Scorpio thing.
It's a Scorpio thing, and now I've discovered.
I was about to ask you. My question set was just if you had to put up one Bollywood star who would fit into a biopic on Uddhav ji. But now I'll change my question.
Please.
Just tell me one book you think is very nearby to your lifestyle. One book you would
My
recommend,
lifestyle.
or your life journey.
My life journey. Actually, I will write that own book. Because I think that will come closest to, and believe me, it is not going to be a non-fiction. Oh, look, I'm such an, I did this and I suffered this and I suffered that, and the misogyny and the patriarchy. No, it's going to be a fun book, and it will be a guide to women that listen, despite it all, despite this misogyny, despite this patriarchy, just beat the hell out of these people and make your space, right? So that's a book. Everybody tells me that, Priyanka, when are you getting down to write? But I think
you should.
There are miles to go before I pen it down.
I'm looking forward to that book.
Yeah, because I don't think there's any book that comes close to the road I have traveled, and things I've said, things I've done, things I never thought I would do. Because if you would see me when I was 18 or 19, I wouldn't even speak to too many people. Forget coming on television and speaking to media or making a speech or anything, which I do now. But at that point in time, I was this shy person, introvert, who wouldn't even have the guts to reach out to somebody and say a word or offer my political opinion. Politics to dur ki baat nahi thi, but offer my political opinion on who I vote for and why I vote for. So that's my journey. So anyway, but no book has come close. But one book I tell everybody to read is Eknath Easwaran's Essence of Gita.
Oh,
It's a very, very beautiful and powerful book, and gives you the entire. You've read it?
Yes.
Isn't it beautiful?
I'm more of a bookworm.
Yeah. So
Nerd.
I'm so happy to know this. So you've read the Essence
Yes,
of
yes,
Gita?
yes.
So beautiful.
I've read almost all the various versions of Gita.
Even I
especially-
have.
I know, right? I mean, I started as an atheist. I was a hardcore atheist.
Oh, so my son has hope. I have hope that my son will somehow become someone who's spiritual at least.
I beg to differ
so
with you here.
atheist, and then?
Spiritualism and
Atheism.
are two different things. Spiritualism
Oh.
makes you believe in something else.
Yeah.
Spiritualism makes me believe that even if
Or
I
religion.
work out, yeah,
Or God. Or there's some super being there, someone up there who's looking after you.
See, I have my fights with God every day. Yesterday, I had a mental breakdown with God.
See,
I
exactly.
locked him and I told him, I'm not going to look at your
So
face.
this is what I'm trying to say. Atheism doesn't believe there's a bigger, there's someone out there looking after you. You can get angry at, or you can tell them to help you, or whatever. Right? If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
absolutely.
So he just doesn't believe in that concept. So now that you
It's a
told me,
phase.
it's a phase, right?
It's a phase.
Okay, it's a phase.
Listen, I need to tell you, there's one thing a lot of people need to know. Just because I'm an atheist doesn't mean that God won't look after me. Like, मैं हूँ, आप थोड़ी ना हो.
वही तो मैं कहती हूँ उसको कि you may say नहीं है, but he's looking after you. This much I know.
काम करने देते हैं ना.
And I say that, and he's like, you're just so blinded in your faith. And when he goes, no, it's not being blinded in my faith. I believe in the power of that there is someone looking after me.
Give him a space. Let him have his journey.
I hope so. So tell me, atheism to.
So I was a hardcore atheist who never believed in God. I was always a rebel.
My son, oh my God.
And I questioned everything. So I come from a Brahmin family. There is a thread ceremony, and I was like, "What? Why would you do that? What is the logic behind this?"
Even he hasn't done it.
And then I went on the path where I went through the lowest of my lows, and everyone told me that it was during the pandemic. It was the lowest of my lows. I thought I can't survive. And
did you get COVID?
I had twice COVID.
My son was. Am I like just talking to him in a different avatar?
And I was like, a friend of mine suggested me Art of Living, and I was like, me. And it's like, is there a harm? Can you just listen to it? I was like, ठीक है यार, कराओ जो करवाना है, because that's one thing I'll respect whatever you say.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. Taki, you don't talk to me. I'm an introvert person. I just do it so that you don't talk to me more. And I heard it. I started liking it. But I was very reluctant to say that I'm liking it. So it's like, okay, I'm still liking it. And then eventually a part came in my life where I literally saw Mahadev holding my hands and walking me through this path.
You're serious?
And it was a turn for me. I spent 1.5 years in Rishikesh as a brahmachari, doing seva for my guru.
Wow.
And that was the turning point. So when I spoke to you about the Rudraksh thing, it was coming from a very positive space because that inspired me to a large extent.
Yeah.
I used to wear my Vaishnava tilak and Rudraksh, and people were like, "You're flaunting it." And
never flaunted.
when I saw that in you, it gave me a hope that why can't a woman?
No. I only gave it up because of that one particular reason, which is that Shankaracharya ji was no more, and I was like,
I promised to get you a Rudraksh from my guru.
Please, I'd be happy to wear it again. But that is when I honestly, as a tribute to him, as someone who had his love and blessings, and I'm lucky. I'm lucky that he made it a point to send it to me every 2 months to change the earlier Rudraksh. So that made me, that also gave me a lot of strength because I was going through a lot of things at that time, even within the Congress party, to see the kind of lows it saw and having to go out every day, chin up, fight it out and do it. It's actually very taxing.
Very much. And I would come to the last question, and I think it's a personal take for me. I'm someone who is very upfront, who speaks my mind. At the same point of time, I am more of a introvert. I do get hurt with even the smallest of things. I'm someone who can go on crying for years for a heartbreak. I've been that kind of person. And at the same point of time, I can just clear up my tears and come up for a podcast.
Chal, I'm ready for a fight.
And I'm very sure that you have those moments too, because at least this is something I can look into your eyes and I can say that you have been through that. How do you cope up with that?
Actually, it's quite a struggle, simply because I am also very emotional person. I can cry at the drop of a hat. My children tell me, "Kya किसी भी बात के लिए रो सकती हूँ," right? But at the same time, I'm out there in the public space all the time, and with so many images caricatured of me, and I'm like, I'm none of these. So I have my lows, and those lows are really low. But what I do is I just retreat into a corner, which is usually the one corner in my house. And the children, now that they're grown up, they don't come and mess around with me. Husband does try and get into an argument, but he's realized that it doesn't pay him well if I lose my temper. So I mean, I'd also withdraw from a lot of decision making at that time. I also withdraw from having conversations which will only anger me further or make me all the more unhappy. But just like you, so I could be having a crying bout 1 minute, and the very next minute I could be out there making a speech in the parliament. I remember until date, I lost my beagle. He was just 1 year, 3 months, and even now, when I just think of him, I can start to cry. It is so. Those are moments when Arnav is like, "Mom, come on, grow out of it." But it's just that it's something that you learn. Learn to live with that weakness that you have. I consider it a weakness, but also my strength, that I'm able to express. I'm able to have a heart. Means I have a heart which is sensitive to other human lives as well as other living beings. So I mean, while it's a weakness, it's also my strength, and I'm happy the way. But always pull back whenever you're feeling too overwhelmed. I always do that, because otherwise you are all set for a mental breakdown.
Are you okay?
I'm totally okay. I'm just, what I'm trying to say is that it's always okay to step back at times and look from, from a distance as to what is your next step going to be, or whether you should be indulging in something that is giving you some kind of unhappiness. So it's very important all the time to keep reassessing that.
She can have tears in her eyes, and at the same point of time, she can come to wipe down your tears. She can move mountains for you, but if needed, she can drop those mountains on your head if you mess with her. When I came here, I initially ended up asking a lot of people, how is she? Is she a very angry person? Is she going to be pissed off with me? Middle of the interview, I was like, oh damn, she's angry, I'm getting it. Ending of the interview, I was like, I'm inspired by her, how she's behaving, how graceful she has been. And maybe that's again something about Scorpio women. I know I'm being biased, but I can't help it out. There's something rare quality that Mrs. Priyanka Chaturvedi has that you cannot ignore her. You may definitely not like her, you may definitely love her, you may hate her, but can you ignore her? Absolutely not. What a lovely conversation it was. A heart to heart conversation. And for the very first time in the ending, I said for someone that in her, I could find the warmth of an elder sister even while arguing. What a lovely conversation. Please tell us in the comment section. And don't forget to write. Naimisha, kitni biased ho yaar tum? I'll wait for that comment. Take care.